Hello everybody and welcome to the 15th episode of my Create Astral Let's Play series. Last episode we finished off doing a whole bunch of storage bus, I want to call it automation. We did a whole bunch of storage bus adding to our our applied energistics network, and what we also did was semi-automate slash automate advanced circuits. Last episode, I finished off saying I would want to work on getting Limestone because I need to get silver automated so we can truly automate all of these circuits up there. What I did in between episodes was I did change the setup over here just a little bit. First off, I moved the millstones from being on this side to over here. This way, this farm right here won't have any crossover with this. I also did, if you guys were wondering, I took the bucket out of this because I didn't want to see I didn't want the obsidian get through anywhere, and I do have a good amount of sturdy sheets, so I thought it would be okay to stop at this point. What I'll do too was I had the bone meal come in. It's still coming in from down below now. This is also still turning into bone meal as well. It's inputting into here. I do have lava, or I guess water in there, so if I get some buckets, I could probably get the water out pretty easily by just double tapping. And that should get the water out, and no more water should be in there. The calcite is then inputted onto this depot, which is then shot by the water with the spout and turning into pointed dripstone, which is used to actually make the limestone. However, one more thing for limestone we need is actually moon sand. So what I end up doing, as you guys can probably see here, is I did add both Mars sand and moon sand to our refined storage. Sorry, the applied energistics. What I did was honestly pretty simple. How I did it was I just simply put two basic storage units, one here and one over there, so that it would fall into there first, and then we can stack it up and have this guy be kind of our buffer for it. What I also did too is I added this lever here. This lever turns these guys off because these guys do produce slightly faster than they can output down there. This way, I guess I'll technically lose some moonstone by having it despawn there, but that is honestly fine. It doesn't affect me too much. So I do have that lever there just in case I need to. Now, to do this, to finalize this little build over here, I need to do one more thing, and I want to do it with you guys. As you guys can see, I did already bring myself a shimmering cable over here because I want to export the moon sand into this guy over here. Now, I think I need to export for this. I don't know if I need the importer or the exporter, but I'm pretty sure I need the exporter. If you guys are wondering, I did add a wireless point below me, like right around, I think right around here. So to make ourselves an export bus, we can grab one like this. So all I have to do is just pop this right here. You know what? I think I'm not supposed to use this one. I think I'm supposed to use the export bus. Or the import bus, I mean. So let's get the import bus. At worst, I have an extra pair of one of them. So we'll pop this right here. We will pull out a piece of moon sand. And we will pop it into there. If this works, what should happen is moon sand will be put into here and create stuff. And if it doesn't, that's fine. I can pretty easily just put the export bus on. So it looks like I was right the first time. It was the export bus I wanted. So that's pretty simple fix. We'll just take this guy off and take. Did it fall down there? That's unfortunate. I'll get it in a second. And then we can do the exact same thing by just taking ourselves a piece of the moon sand and popping it in there, and then finally popping that right there. I just realized I don't have the mechanical press. I think I should have an extra mechanical press in my... No, I don't, but I can make one. So we'll just go ahead and make a mechanical press in a jiffy here. Let's see, what's the fastest way to get power here? Probably from right there. So what I can do is just pop this right here. Where's my storage container? Get some of these and some of these guys out. Not that many, but I guess that works. We will go ahead and some of these guys. We'll pop one right here. We will go bang. And we'll get this guy on top of here. If I can get over correctly. And then we can just take a normal one and pop it right there. And that should be getting us limestone. I'm just gonna put all this stuff back in there. And all I should have to do is pull one of my crude storage units out now. I got my extra flint ones, I guess, still left in here. And do I want to do I have any basics, actually? No, I don't. Did I create one pretty... no, I'll use a crude storage unit. So we'll take one of our crudes out, and we'll just pop it right here. And I do have some limestone in my inventory already. So I'll just take it on out. We can just shove it in there. I'm going to do in from the back. And now we have limestone 100% automated. Let's go, guys. What I can do is I'll put a storage bus on the back of here, and that will make life a lot easier. Now, there is one thing I also saw, and I actually can use a, large crafter like this to do smaller crafts like this. And it's pretty simple to do it. All I need to do is apply a redstone signal. So, as I mentioned earlier, I would try doing a 3x3 here. You still can. You just have to apply a redstone signal, and it will make the item for you. In this case, I needed to make 2 crushing wheels, because to actually get silver, you have to put it through a crusher. You cannot use the millstones. So just again, we need to get the crushed limestone, which is then busted into silver and raw silver, which I can just drop this raw silver into a crusher, which will then get us even more crushed ore and more experience nuggets. What I will probably end up doing is over here, the crusher down there, I'll probably have an export bus with a funnel on top, or I guess a barrel with a funnel on top of it, dropping all that crushed stuff onto the funnel down there and adding it to the whitelist and stuff. So what I'm going to go ahead and do right now is I'm going to go put up an area where we can do this. Again, I'll probably be over here. I don't know if I'm going to do it up here, but I don't think I'm going to do it up here because I know there's one more, at least one more planet we have to go to, and I kind of want to have each planet be kind of all over the wall here with their version of sand. So I'm probably going to end up doing this just down here in the area. It was actually a lot more simple to set up than I thought it would be. As you guys can probably see, I added another line right here. So just to get to the very beginning of this, it is back here where it all starts out. I have an export bus, right? Let's see if I can do some little bit of parkour right now. I have an export bus right here exporting limestone into this barrel. That barrel then has a brass funnel shooting all that out onto the wheel right here, onto the crushing wheel, as you just saw right there. And then it gets crushed into lime dust. That lime dust has 2 things that it turns into. The first thing is silver nuggets, and the second thing is raw silver. What I have on right here is I can probably just grab it and show you guys pretty quickly. I have a deny list for raw silver. What that means is all raw silver will end up going this way. Now you're probably wondering, why would I put a drawer for raw silver right here when I could just have it go get crushed again and get even more silver? Well, there's actually a pretty good reason for that. That is because raw silver is actually used in a recipe. Now, it's not a big recipe, but it is something I would like to have eventually be able to use. So I was like, I might as well just save some of the raw silver for there. So once I get 2048 raw silver, all the extra silver will go back into there, and I'll just get even more silver going through the system. But until then, I'll just get a little bit less silver going on. But that's fine, because you can already see I already got over 105 silver. So even though it's less silver in the short term, in the long term, I'll still get a lot of silver once it goes through. Because this silver, what it does, maybe the silver will go through anyways, because it went too fast. Maybe I have to move this all around a bit and just find a better place to put it. But this is kind of what I have planned. So that's kind of what's happening in the moment for right now. But we'll see what happens in the future. Now that we have silver added in, I think it will be a really good time for us to start automating upstairs and getting silver over there. So there's a few ways to do this, which I think is actually pretty interesting. So Applied Energistics allows you to transfer fluids. So what I think I'm going to do is actually get an export bus for fluids and put it on a tank. And that way I can have it go automatically out. I could export bus fluid into the smelter here, that is possible, or I could put a tank there. What is nice, I will tell you though, is if you put a redstone signal on the seared faucet, it will always push out no matter what. So I actually may just put a exporter on the seared smelter right here and call it a day really for that. So that's what I think I actually might go for. What I'm also going to have to do as well is set up a little bit of an auto crafting or I guess an auto crafter for both copper wires as well as I guess copper wires. I'm also going to set up auto crafting for lapis plates. So if you guys remember, lapis plates are created like this, or sorry, lapis sheets are created by compressing a block of lapis lazuli, and then these are what's used to make the integrated circuits, and also looks like they're used to make some other pieces like fortune stuff as well. Good news, guys, I was able to automate it. However, bad news, it really wasn't automated in the way I want it to be automated. So I want to automate using patterns. But if you look at it, there's no actual pattern recipe. It seems like it's disabled in the pack, which is very unfortunate because I had to do some janky stuff to make it work. So the first thing I did was I got another P2P tunnel and connected it to over here so I could have my AE access over here. And I was able to run all the cables underground here using those facades to cover everything up to make it look all super nice and stuff from at least above here. What I am doing right now is looks like I'm out of. I might have to get another exporter because this has been messing up like that a little bit recently, so I may have to fix that one part right there. But essentially, I have copper being exported out into here. Sorry, not copper, silver. Looks like I'm really gonna have to, I think, do that one first, and that should fix it. Okay, and I have it shooting the silver into there. And what I might do just quickly is to pause this guy, because if this keeps going at this point, it will go too fast. So what I have happening is I have a mechanical arm taking off a depot and putting it on there. Originally, I was going to put a pattern interface on this so that I could just request them whenever I wanted to, but that wasn't going to work, unfortunately, because they were disabled. So let's put this guy back on now. So what I'm having it do now is go at a slow enough pace where this will finish just about the same time the next one is put on. And that way we're able to stack up a whole bunch of integrated circuits. What is happening next is under this depot right here, we have another one of those exporters exporting the integrated circuits onto this guy to create the incomplete electronic circuits. I have another exporter on the bottom of this that has an exporter for gold nuggets. Now finally I have an exporter on the back of here, which is exporting the Astral to always have Astral in stock here to always make the integrated circuits with it. Now this wasn't ideal because I'm pretty much forced to fill the entire inventory up here. I tried doing several things like just putting it into the storage buffer, just putting it into on a depot, but that never worked. If you guys know any smaller inventories than the barrel, please tell me, because I really don't want to have an entire barrel of these. If I could have like one row, like like 9 stacks, that'd be perfect. But I don't know any blocks that only have one row of materials in them. I was hoping there would be some sort of chest that has one, but we only have better chests. We don't have any worse chests. And there's no downgrades for these storage units, so I can't really do anything like in that regard either. So I'm kind of just stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. So what's going to end up happening is I have 3 stacks of, or sorry, 27 stacks of integrated and 27 stacks of these guys. But what that kind of means is I'm really much going to have 27 stacks of this and like 2 stacks of these, because this is going to have to backstop first. What I could do is get a really random block for now and kind of just fill in some slots. So let's see. We could grab like if anything we're never going to really use. Because we have something we're never really going to use, like for example rice. What I could do is this. Now I'd have to know to never use rice. But doing it this way, I guess I could, but if you look at that right there, now rice is going to go into there, so I probably just have to do something like that. So hopefully this works, I guess. I just can't use rice anymore. So I guess this is going to be my storage solution until I can figure out something better. Hopefully you guys have something better about this that I can do, but this is kind of all I have for thought process right now. So now that we have this done, let's check our quest book out and see what we need to do next. So if we go to Piglin Particularities, there's a couple things we can go into next. We can either go down here, which looks like it's what's leading us to the next area over there, but I kind of want to check out over here and get lithium. Now to get lithium, we need to get clay dust. We need to get an industrial electrolyzer. What these both do, so if we pull this guy up right here, I thought I had it saved over here, but I guess I removed it accidentally. Using this, we can take our clay dust, once we find it, with 3 empty cells and get ourselves lithium. Lithium is used for a whole plethora of things, but mainly it's used for getting things like lithium batteries and upgrading power sources, which I think will be very useful in the future. So my next plan is to get lithium. There are a couple things I may do as well, but this is the thing I think I want to work on right now, is just to get lithium. Setting lithium up was honestly quite easy, to be honest with you. And this is my lithium setup right here. So what do I have? I have a grinder grinding clay balls, and I'm having the clay dust be put into the industrial electrolyzer with empty cells. I made a 3x3 crafting grid over here, which is then making the empty cells. I have a mechanical arm pulling in ingots off of a depot, which I do have hooked up with a ME export bus. If I can get up here, which I might not be able to anymore. Actually, I don't think I can, so we'll just make ourselves a little bit further to go in there. And I also have an export bus on here exporting the clay balls. If the recipe doesn't take up the entire crafting grid, it has to have a redstone pulse, which is why I have this set right here. This is an 8-second pulse. These are called pulse repeaters from Create. They're a pretty simple craft. I don't want to type in Create, I want to type in pulse repeater. They're pretty simple, honestly. It's just some polished redstone brass sheet and a redstone. Essentially, when they get a redstone pulse behind them, they wait 4 seconds, then pulse the block in front of them. This 8 seconds was just about the right amount of time for me to consider this to work pretty much all the time. And that is how we are getting this. I did add an MFE up here, and on top of these guys, I did make 4 solar panels because these guys are pretty dang power hungry. You can see I'm just barely going up. I may actually be able to take one of the solar panels off, but I want us to get back charged because I never want us to stop working. But now we have our lithium, our sodium, and lazurite. Lazurite, I mean, it could be useful if we want to get more lapis. The sodium and lithium are really what we're after, actually. The sodium is actually going to be very useful because if we check the quests out, looks like I had sodium right there. So first of all, just accept these quests. Wow, what's ooh-wah? Is it a block? I think it's just a thing you hold. But as I was saying, what's nice about the sodium as an additional output is we're actually going to need it later down the line to get the 60k and the 60k NAK coolant cells. So having sodium already being produced is going to be very useful for future reference or for future stuff over here, which I probably will work on next because I think that's going to be something we're really going to want to work on. Now, getting sodium battery or lithium batteries will be pretty easy. I just get a normal battery, and I squirt it with the Tech Reborn lithium. So I may just do what I did upstairs again. I will get a buffer, and I will kind of just pop it onto a barrel. What I did find out too, which was super nice, if we can get to one of these guys right here pretty quickly. If you partition the storage and you only put the advanced integrated circuit on it, that means only the advanced circuits will be seen, and the rice won't be seen. So I can actually use any type of thing I want to block it off without worry of it getting taken out, which is because I only have that one single thing in there. What this also means too is nothing besides integrated circuits will be put into this. So I said to turn these barrels into big storage units, and this one I do think I have a little bit more if I can get inside of it. I went for 9 stacks over here instead of just the 2 stacks I had over here. So that was kind of my solution. It's actually works pretty dang well, so I'm happy that worked out. So what I'm gonna work on now is probably getting that lithium battery setup. I might just do it right here, to be honest with you, because I have space right here. Might as well just pop it right here as well. I was looking at the uses for lithium batteries and thought there wasn't a big enough reason, so I thought I would just go ahead and manually make it. What I found out is you can actually put a spout on one of these fluid tanks and have it just do that way. So it's a lot easier instead of having to get a pump. So I thought I would just do this to get, myself 8 lithium batteries for now. Then I can always get myself more lithium batteries if I need them by just coming over here manually doing it. I just thought it'd be a better way to kind of get this going. So now that we have, I guess, batteries going here, what do we want to work on next? I think I'm going to go for night vision because I hate not being able to see. That's pretty much it. So let's just keep getting these batteries going in the background. So what I can do is popping up. We can add the night vision goggles to our sidebar. And we kind of just go ourselves through crafting this right now. Looks like all we need is these LED lights, which should be very easy for us to get. I think it said we needed 2, so we need to make some more glass panes now too. Alrighty guys, we got ourselves some more glass. I did check clear glass doesn't actually work with the recipe, so I have to use this normal glass. So I think we already made 1, so I should only have to make 1 more. And with this, we should be able to get ourselves a wonderful pair of night vision goggles. Now, I like people to see, because I am usually in the dark a lot. Especially when I'm mining, I'm too lazy to put up torches. So I usually just end up mining in the dark. Now that we have this, we can go run over there and put it in an MFE. Eventually get an MFSU, which we can make now actually because we have lithium batteries. So I actually may make an MFSU. So by popping this guy into here, it should charge up for us to have night vision. Now I need to figure out what the keybind is exactly for the night vision to work, because I don't actually know it. So while that's charging up, let's talk about what I want to do next. We still have a good amount of time left anyways right now. And I think that's going to be over here. Hotter stuff. I want to get fuel cells. This is the way in the mod pack to get the blazers to go superheated. Blaze cakes don't actually work to my knowledge in this mod pack to make them go superheated. You have to use this fluid cell stuff. So how do we make fluid cells? That's not how you make fluid cells. I know it's somewhere in here. There we go, there's fluid cells. You put oil cells in a distillation tower, and you get both fuel cells and you get sulfuric acid. I'm sure we can figure out some use for the sulfuric acid later. But we need to get oil cells. So how do we get oil cells? There's a few ways to get them, actually. And the way I'm going to go is actually this way right here. Now, it takes a little bit of time. You can see it takes, 125 seconds to get one. But I'm sure with a couple upgrades in the machine, we can probably get it going a bit faster. Things like overclocker upgrades. That's kind of my thought process we're going to do. So I'll have to make one of these industrial centrifuges. The first thing I had to do in order to get this to work was get soul sand, because as you guys know, the soul sand is how we're actually be getting the crude oil itself. Right around here. We'll be using this one here. Which is interesting about this is we actually get sand as an extra output. So what I think I'm actually going to do is put it right down here. That way I can kind of feed the sand back into this guy over here and kind of, save more than half of our sand in use. So that seems like a pretty good idea for me. Now the saltpeter, the banana dust, the potassium that comes out of this as well. Where was that? I think it was the saltpeter. Yeah, the saltpeter. We'll be able to use that to get ourselves banana fluid. Potassium, aka potassium. And we can use that to finally get ourselves the coolant cells. So, which is really nice because I actually really want overclockers. Overclockers are really awesome and I really want to get them unlocked. They'll make machines go faster. I think it's I can see a 25% decrease in time, but it does cost a lot more energy. Unfortunately, now that we have the lithium unlocked, we can start getting higher tier energy, such as MFSUs. MFSUs are high output. They have 512 output per one. So, but the thing is, if we do that, we're going to probably have to use something called transformers, which I have used a couple so far. Let's see. Transformer. Essentially what these guys do is they increase the machine tier by 1. You can install as many as you want in the machine. As far as I'm concerned, it'll just take up extra slots. So these will be very useful for us when switching over to the high frequency of using the high transformers, I guess you could say. So what I'm going to work on now is probably getting a distillation tower, which honestly, if I saw it, there's a lot of stuff into making this. So you can see I need I need 2 industrial centrifuges, I need 2 electrolyzers, I need 2 extractors. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into making this. So it looks like I'm going to have to go back to making a whole bunch more of those basic machine frames. It's pretty simple, but you know what, guys? It works. This is my little setup I have right here. I have the industrial centrifuging, and I have, so the outputs are always the same. So this output will always be sand. So I was able to make it so that this output always outputted towards the buffer, which goes right back up here into our sand drawer right here. And the other three are just simply outputted in the bottom with saltpeter, oil, and coal dust. What's nice about this is the saltpeter is going to be useful, to get potassium. The oil cell is going to be useful because that's what's going to, get us fuel to actually do the super drive. And the coal dust is going to be great because we can actually turn coal dust in an implosion compressor into diamonds, which I do plan on doing because as much fun as it is to go mine for diamonds, I like to get to a point in my game where I don't have to mine anymore, and I'm not just there yet. I still have to go mine every now and again, especially for things like diamonds. So if I can get diamonds automated, that'll make me very happy, to say the least. I'll probably actually set up an entire tree farm solely to make diamonds, but that is a future endeavor and not right now. So what are we going to do? We are going to check the quest log to accept our stuff right here. And now what we have to do is make the actual fuel itself. And that is what is required by the distillation tower. And remember, this guy has just like a really high requirement to build. I mean, it's not too bad, but it does require a whole lot of machines. So it's going to require probably 10 advanced integrated circuits by itself at the very least, excluding all the normal circuits going to have to use in the first place. So this is kind of what I need to build right now. I don't know if this is a multi-block because it has 3 pieces right here. But we'll have to check out if it is a multi-block or not. At worst, I can just kind of look it up to make sure if it's a multi-block or not. So what I'm going to work on now is getting this block actually built. Seeing if it is a multi-block, I'll probably have to build these 2 pieces as well, which looks more and more like it's going to happen, but this is actually just very easy. It's just a whole bunch of lead plates and some integrated circuits. If you guys remember, I do have a whole bunch of those circuits crafting up always, so we are good on circuits. So I'm going to make that, and gas turbine too. That would do pretty. Feature stuff. We'll worry about what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to go ahead and start crafting up that distillation tower. It does turn out that the distillation tower is actually a multi-block, you can see back here. So it looks like I'm going to need, let's see, 18 of each of these, so I'm going to have to make 2 more groups of each of these right now. Which means I should have to make, I think, 32? What am I missing right now? Lead plates. I'll have to go ahead and craft myself some more lead plates then. Lead plates. Fortunately, I have a whole bunch of lead blocks because I have way too much of them. Actually, I'll just take the entire stack. Let me just run over here and pop it into the compressor. So this should go ahead and compress those while we're waiting. What I can do in the meantime is just start building this. I do have a plan where I'm going to build this, and that's going to be downstairs. Now, I don't know if it's going to be the final destination of it, but I don't really have a good place to put it otherwise. I don't have any areas to put it. So I thought might as well just put it right around here. I think this would be a pretty good spot to put it. Then we can show the multi-block. Just pop down. Looks like I built this one too far back. Maybe I can just put it in the wall then. I have to go all the way back into the wall. If I built it that much, I might as well. Then here we can go 1, 2, 3. Am I building the right? Am I using the right block? This looks like the right block, so I think I'm fine. Then we're going to need to use these guys again, but what we can do pretty easily is just do this. Then you take sturdy sheets, right click on these guys to get the industrial machine casing right here. Then we can, looks like I'm still thinking any more of these. So let's see if those guys have done crafting yet. This is how we're going to get the oil, and I wonder if there's any other I think sulfuric acid is a byproduct. I don't really know what sulfuric acid is used for, but hopefully it's something kind of useful, to the least. Oh, actually got a whole bunch of plates now. Definitely crushing those, or compressing those plates made it a lot, or those blocks made it a lot easier. So I forget how many I was going to need, so we'll just start with this for now and just keep making more as I need them. Hop back down here. Actually, did I not bring it? Oh, I did bring it. I'm going to make the top one first because I want people to reach that. Then we can just go bang, 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 bang. And oops, right, I got 2 extra ones in my inventory. Then we can go shoop, shoop. And looks like we need to do 1 more craft to get enough of these guys to be able to create this multi-block. Now the question is, what happens when I do this? Did I not do it correctly? I was in fact doing it incorrectly. You actually have to have the center two blocks be hollow. So here should be the corrected multi-block right here. As you can see, we got the distillation tower now. So what I'm going to need to do now is do a couple things. I'm going to get a exporter. I'm going to get two exporters actually. Let's see. Actually, I think one exporter should be fine. Let's see if I have any exporters in my system. Fortunately, I do have one left over. So we can just pop that on. I'm going to pull from this line right here. I'll pop it right there. What I need to do this now is get a capacity card. That way I only have to use one of these guys. So I'm going to have to make myself more of these guys. What am I missing to make this? Some shimmer and some silver plates. I ended up just taking the capacity card I had from the area over there where I was making the integrated circuits, because the capacity card doesn't really do anything there because of the sidedness of the block. But as you can see, this now lets me have two inputs, which means that what I can do is just have both these guys be inputting from the top. And now it should be fine for me to put both cells in here. So where is the normal cell? Empty cell, and oil cell is... I don't know which oil cell I have. So what we'll do is solve this very easily by just taking the oil cells out of my bank. So we'll pop in here and just go right there, and that should be perfectly fine now. The reason I put it right here is because I want to pull off this smart cable right here. So let's get some cables. I'm going to just run it down right there. And that should get 3 devices online, and that should start inputting both oil cells and... Okay, that's not what I wanted. That's kind of annoying. What I can do is export using round robin. That way, there we go. Now we'll go every other. That's what I want. That should make it so that that doesn't happen again. So that's pretty good. Okay, now that we have that, and then we're gonna have to get power over here. Now how much power does this block need? So this is a pretty high energy block, so this needs a lot of power actually. What I think I'm going to do, guys, is I'm gonna upgrade this guy to an MFSU. So just so you guys know, an MFSU is made by this. It's actually very simple. I just mix some lithium batteries. I have an integrated circuit. I take the MFE I already have and put it together with a machine casing. What's nice about this block right here is it should accept any power level as long as it just accepts it. What I'm also probably going to do is increase the amount of solar panels I have up here. 4 solar panels I don't think will be enough for what I want right now, especially if I have to power that thing down there as well, including my storage. So if we go to ultimate solar panels, let's remind ourselves of the recipe here. I'm probably going to make 4 more of these solar panels because I think that will be enough. Maybe 5 more so I can just get a 9. I would like to upgrade them eventually to this, but refined shimmer, if you guys remember Industrial Craft 2, refined shimmer is UU matter, so I don't have a way to produce UU matter just yet. So I can't make this just to make it into one block. So I'm probably going to make 9 of them, maybe even 8 of them, and just kind of put it around here in this area, and that should help us a lot. 5 more solar panels have been added up here. They were honestly quite easy to craft. It just cost me 15 diamonds to get the 5 more. So it was very worth it if you ask me. We can also see that I do have around 320 excess power being produced, and that block only needs 196, should give me a very good return. So if I need any more power for this guy, it should be not too hard to get. I did already connect it up down there, so if we come over here and just get ourselves some stones so I can cover this wall back up, that would make me a very happy person. Kind of just block off right there. I don't think there's any cable covers I can use for the gold cables, unfortunately. But this is what I have set up down here. I have it both exporting into these 2 guys right here. You can see right on these I have them both exporting on different sides, and on these guys I have pretty much the reverse of having coming in on that side, and then finally coming in on this side. Hopefully this finishes pretty fast so I can show you guys how that works, because I want you guys to see. But even with this thing taking, as I said, 196 energy per tick, we should still be profiting on power. And to show you guys that, we can come over here, check my MFSU, and can see we are still, and our energy change is still above, well, I guess 0. So we should just continuously be charging this, and that should be good. Hopefully this guy is almost done downstairs, so we can get it in our view of us making the fuel cells. It's 66% there, so I guess we can kind of just look at some other stuff and accept some quest rewards. We can accept a blaze burner and a bucket of fuel. Why not? Then we can put those guys right there, because I'm probably gonna have to make a thing for probably have to make a blaze burner used specifically for getting the superheater recipes. So now that I have that, let's see what else I can need. I could use a gas turbine. The only problem with using a gas turbine is, well, gas turbine. What are these two guys right here? I don't even know what that one is. That's fine though. I don't think I'm gonna use a gas turbine. I might use a thermal generator, but I do really want to just use the quantum solar panels and ultimate solar panels to get all my power needs being done. So now that we have this guy done, I'm trying to make sure in the background I can see it going still. Our next goal is probably going to be Listerine. Don't drink this, of course. That will be got by getting potassium and sodium. If you guys remember, we do have sodium already being crafted up when we're making our lithium. And we have the potassium, I guess we have saltpeter being created right here. So we can turn our saltpeter in an industrial compressor to nitrogen and potassium. So we will be able to get ourselves some potassium pretty easily. This guy almost done. It looks like I need to put auto input. I thought I had auto input on. So do these blocks not want to accept it? Let's see if I can just take them out and pop them in there, if it will start accepting it now that I have them already placed in there. That is kind of funky. It's not going out though, because it is set up correctly on this side at least. But let's go back to that while we're waiting for that to look like it's going to work. So we got the saltpeter. Now we just have to turn that into the actual potassium that we can start working on getting our Listerine. And that is when we can start getting overclockers, so we can make things go faster. The thing I probably want to make go faster first is our guy over there, the industrial centrifuge that is making the oil itself, because this seems pretty fine with how it is for now. I also don't know if I can take a power increase over here. Man, this guy's not outputting how I want it to. I may have to figure that out. I don't really know why that's not working. Because, oh, that's why I have it set to input, not output. It was because stupid there, wasn't I? But as you guys can see, we now have this outputting. What I'm probably going to have to do is get two export buses, two storage buses and pop them on top of there for that to work. However, we are very over time for this episode, but I want to get this far, at least in the episode, to get the fuel creation completed. Once again, guys, thank you much for watching this 15th episode of my Create Astral series. Next episode, we'll probably start working more on getting this line over here. I don't think we'll go all the way to rockets, but I'll probably at least get Listerine, and I may actually take a quick break, because now that we have superheated things, we can probably start going to over here so we can actually make steel, because steel needs to be superheated to melt down. So after I get this guy right here unlocked, I will probably go ahead and start getting steel going. So I'll probably get overclockers and then do steel next episode, or steel production next episode. Then we can start working more on getting some stuff down here, which I think will be very fun for us to do. Well, once again, guys, thank you much for watching this 15th episode of my Create Astral Let's Play series. Next episode, we'll be working on what I just mentioned. Thank you guys much for watching. I will see you guys later. Bye, guys.